State of the City and County Annual Membership Luncheon. Today we have presenting partners Derek Price, owner of Green Shoot Agency, and we have Jimmy Dickey with customer service as customer service manager of GEUS. We are going to start off with Derek Price with Green Shoot Agency. Thank you for coming today.
Green Shoot Agency does high-quality commercial video work, but that's actually not why I am on this stage right now. I'm here to announce a new project that I am really excited about called Celebrate Hunt County. This is something our video production team has been working on for months, and it's something that's close to my heart. It's a weekly web video series designed to lift people's spirits, tell positive stories, and build pride in our hometowns. And here's an explanation of what it's all about.
It's more than a place you write and our hometowns. It's an explanation, a sense of home, a sense of belonging. And every week, Celebrate Hunt County will be hitting the road to tell the stories of home. We're bringing our camera crew to explore the people, places, and events that make Hunt County great. And just like a television program, we'll be releasing a new episode every single week. We want to tell the stories of unsung heroes, the neighbors all around us doing amazing things, quietly, without bragging or expecting recognition. And we'll let them tell their own stories in their own words, without the filter of a host or an announcer. New episodes will be released every Thursday morning on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. They'll also run on local cable TV on GEUS 34. When we released our first teaser episode in December after the Greenville Christmas Parade, within a couple of days it got nearly 11,000 views on Facebook. If you think this idea has potential, we've got 3 ways you can help. 1. Share episodes of Celebrate Hunt County whenever you see them. We'll be creating stories worth sharing, told in a first-rate way. 2. Send us your story ideas. If you have an idea for a great video feature story, email us at stories@celebratehuntcounty.com. And 3. Consider becoming a sponsor. Just like with public broadcasting, we'll be relying on sponsorship dollars to pay for quality programming in our community. We're telling stories that make people feel good about where they live. And we're inviting businesses that want to tap into those positive feelings to join with us. Celebrate Hunt County. Stories that make you proud to call this place home.
So we are really excited to launch this project. This is something that I think has the potential to lift up the entire community and tell some great stories. We have shot 7 episodes of this so far. The first one releases next week on Thursday, and we could not embark on this project without the support of our sponsors. At the gold level, Shane Stovall Roofing is our sponsor. At the silver level, At Home Texas Real Estate and Capital Title are the sponsors there. And we've got 2 sponsors at the bronze level, Hunt Regional Healthcare and CareVide. We have 1 more bronze level spot available if any of you business owners are interested in supporting this project. We'd love to have you on board, so talk with us in the lobby after lunch. Thank you.
Next we have Jimmy Dickey, Customer Service Manager with GEUS.
Thank you, Byron, for allowing us to briefly speak. Did you know GEUS is the oldest municipally owned utility in Texas? And that we're also the first and only municipally owned provider of high-speed internet and cable television? This month, GEUS celebrates 128 years of serving the Greenville community. Thank you very much for allowing us to serve your families and business all these many years. Allow me this opportunity to share with you information about public power and what sets GEUS apart. GEUS is your community-owned public power utility. But what does that mean? Public power is best described 4 ways. First, hometown service. GEUS and our board members, I think there's a couple of board members here tonight, are your friends and neighbors. We live, shop, and work right here alongside you every day. I stopped at 2 of your businesses and read the Herald Banner, Brad, this morning before 8 a.m. Second, local control. The decisions that GEUS makes regarding facilities, services, and rates are all made right here with the community in mind. There are no investors or large stakeholders that make a profit off of your utility. Third, investing in our community. GEUS is invested in the growth and development of Greenville. We proudly partner with the Greenville Board of Development, sitting right here below, to help attract industry and well-paying jobs to our community. And lastly, giving back to our community. GEUS is committed to community development through by supporting local nonprofit organizations, education, and economic development. So when you hear us say GEUS is community powered and we are your community-owned public power utility, you can take that to heart. We are working hard every day to serve you with the best hometown service we can provide while striving to be your world-class utility. Thank you very much.
Thank you both, Derek and Jimmy. We appreciate having you today. Our advertising partner is Mid-South Bank today. And Karen Thomason, we would like to thank you for all the work that you do with us in the community. Thank you for being here. Our table partner today is Ray Lancaster, financial services professional with New York Life.
First thing I want to thank Byron for putting together such a great event. How about everybody give him a hand here, all right? And of course, the Texan Theater is just gorgeous. We're really happy to be here. And so for a lot of folks who don't know me, I've been in Greenville since 2005 when I got into the financial services industry. And my partner here, George Perone, we met this summer, and we both decided that me driving back and forth to Louisville when I could be helping people right here in Greenville was kind of a waste of time and money and gas and tolls. So we partnered with New York Life and all right. But with that, we have our financial services practice here in Greenville and Rockwall, and we're proud to offer New York Life as a partner with their products and services, as well as many others that are out there in the world. So, next one here. Thing about New York Life, I love to tell this story. Is New York Life has been around since before the Civil War, and during the Civil War, all insurance policies have a clause that if there is a death caused by active war, they don't have to pay the claim. New York Life said that they were going to go ahead and pay these claims. Abraham Lincoln said that was great for the North, but you're not going to be able to do that for the South, right? Well, the CEO of New York Life wrote him back a letter and says, no, we're going to do it for everybody because we don't care so much about people's political opinions. We're there for the widows and orphans. So that really spoke to me, and I thought, hey, I could build a career being there for people when they lose someone. Next one there. So I wanted to just give, everybody pretty much knows about what life insurance is, but this is a chamber event. We've got business owners out there. So one of the things that I did want to mention a little bit is that the ability to work with some of the small businesses that most providers don't really feel like is worth their time and energy. So, someone with 2 to 5 to 10 employees, a lot of the companies really aren't necessarily looking for your business and providing some benefits for your employees. So we are here to offer that. And what I tell people like this, say, hey, look, with benefits, it's a cost to any business. So let us at least quote it. If we come in a little bit lower, great, we can save you some money. If we don't, at least you tried. And hey, you may be able to take that quote back to your broker and say, hey, match this or we're walking. One of the things that we want to talk a little bit about with today was an enhancement to some of the benefits that are out there. And a lot of municipalities are jumping onto this, and this is our employee whole life. So I'm going to let George Prone talk about that just a little bit here.
Thanks, Ray. Thank you all for having us, and thank you again, Byron. So to Ray's point, we love getting in front of business owners because this is a tool that you can put in your box to attract and keep those qualified individuals in your company. And once again, we are aligned with New York Life. We do write other business, but we try and pick and choose the best products and services from each company. And this one here, the employee whole life, is it up there? So this is real quick. This is going to be a product you can offer those individuals that is portable. So if they leave or retire, they can take it with them. It is life insurance. It's permanent life insurance. It's not term. They can also underwrite their spouse and their children. There is no exams. It's going to be a couple questions. It's a great product. Once again, we see great success in it for those business owners to once again attract and keep those qualified people that they want to do so with. So we are open for questions out at the table, and we look forward to hearing from you all. And I guess most importantly, right? You heard enough about life insurance and such. We have a drawing here, so go ahead, Ray, and pick that. It's not looking.
I'm not.
I don't have my glasses. I'm at that age.
Why don't you put my card in there, George? You put my card in there.
I can't see it.
Deanne Bird, Green Shoot Agency.
Oh, all right.
Alyssa Davis with Family First.
Yeah. And last one, Raylan.
We have baskets that are out at our table. And so last but not least, the grand prize is Greenville Floral and Gifts. So Luann.
There you go. Thank y'all.
And our luncheon partner day is Latsons.com. We have Regina Saucier, account manager. Come on up, Regina.
A little bit slow. I have a hitch in my get along, but it won't last very long. Anyway, this is one of my favorite events to come to. I love the quarterly membership luncheons. I'm amazed at how many wonderful people we have working in this county. And this county is just blessed with some of the most generous, intelligent people I've met in my lifetime. So I'm thankful to be here, aren't you guys? Yes, yes. Well, he introduced me. I'm Regina Saucier, and again, of course I'm with Latsons.com, and I'd like to take a minute to tell you a little bit more about us. Latsons.com is HUB certified and a tips vendor. So what we have in place is our goal is to meet our customers' needs no matter the size of their office. For instance, if you need a dozen pens or thousands of pens, if you need a ream of paper or pallets of paper, we have the office supply capacity to do that for you. So we can provide it all. Sorry, I get a little bit nervous up here. You guys are so intelligent and look so great. We also do a lot of printing. We can provide business forms or we can print blueprints. We can do signage and posters. How about promotional items? We can also provide those promotional items for your business or swag, printed items on your clothing, shoes, shirts, t-shirts. When it comes to printing, we can do it all. Also at Latsons, we are the office furniture experts. If you need furniture, call us, let us come out and look at your layout and help you with your layout and design. You will not ever get furniture in a box from us. We have your furniture professionally assembled. We deliver it to your office and we install it for you. We can provide what you need to create a high-functioning office environment. From cubicles to classrooms to conference rooms to reception areas and office spaces, Latsons.com can provide it all. If you'd like more information about us, just swing by our booth. I'd be happy to share more. And also, we're giving away a Chair of the Month. Drop in your business card so that you don't miss out on that opportunity. Thank you guys so much for your time. I appreciate you, and thank you for being here.
Thank you, Regina. All right, so now we're going to move on to a few things about the Chamber, and we're going to go on to our program. Most of you know, or many of you know, that we launched a new version of Friday from the Chamber about 4 weeks ago. You should have it in your mail this morning. We are doing some reanalyzing of who has maybe unsubscribed and things in the past, because we really want you to be able to get, this is a valuable tool for our community. We want to make sure that you know what's going on, and it's a much easier and more friendlier to use. So make sure that you're getting it. If you're not, let us know and we can make that happen for you if you're members. Community calendar. Can you put that screenshot up, please? Screenshot Chamber homepage. I'll go ahead and start describing. Up in the right-hand corner of our website, we have a radio button called Community Calendar. We want everybody to use this community calendar. It doesn't matter if you're a member or not a member. Put your event on our community calendar. If you are a member, we will use Friday from the Chamber to also help promote your event that goes out weekly. If you're an organization like the GMA or others that have a lot of events going on, if you could make sure that you put your really important key ones on there, we'll help you share that as well. Can't find it. It's okay. It's on our homepage. It's on the upper right-hand side, Community Calendar. Use it. Also, I want to talk about our elite partners real quick. The Chamber no longer runs around when we approach an event and try to find partners for each event. What we started doing is we have a whole package process that we have where we can sit down with you once a year, and you can allocate your budget to what you want to participate in as a chamber, and we can talk to you once, and your whole year is set. It's called our Elite Partnership Package Program. Right now, our partners that have partnered with us so far, his platinum level is Greenville Chrysler. Our diamond partners are L3. Silver partners is American National Bank, Cornerstone. Our bronze partners are Martin Marietta, Nissan of Greenville, Mid-South Bank, Greenville Hyundai, Vision Quest, GEUS, and Kinsey Abstract and Sabine Title Company. Keith will be here after the program, and if you have any desire to talk with him about that, we'll set you up. It's also time, if you're interested in being an ambassador, we have a very strong ambassador program. New ambassadors get seated in April, so you can go to our website right now if you want to be an ambassador and fill out an application and get it to us, and we can help you through that process if you have any questions. I also, and lastly, before we move on to introducing Hunt County, I want to thank publicly Tony McDowell with eGreenvilleExtra.com for going down with us to Hunt County Days and reporting with us live in Austin. Some of you may or may not have known that she was there with us, but she was literally writing stories and reporting back here to Greenville and Hunt County about what we were up to. And she took time out of her busy schedule to do that with us. So I think she's here today. She is up. So let's give her a big round of applause. Thank you. Next, I'm going to introduce our county judge, our new county judge, Bobby Stovall. A little short bio for him is he is a fourth-generation Hunt County resident. He attended Texas A&M and graduated in 1976 with a Bachelor of Science in Engineering. Registered as a registered professional land surveyor in 1980. Founded Stovall and Associates Land Surveying in Greenville in 1981. Purchased Kinsey Abstract Sabine Title in Greenville in 1990. and sold it in 2018. He was appointed county judge exactly 31 days ago. Now, I got this yesterday. Is it still 31 days? So he's been with us 1 month. The county judge is the executive officer of Hunt County. This position requires that the elected individual act as chief administrator and budget officer for the entire county. Bobby, come on up.
Welcome, everybody. It's great to see so many people here today. Thank you for taking an interest in Hunt County and the city of Greenville. Is that better? Thank you. Let me turn it this way a little bit more. Anyways, it's a pleasure to see everybody here. I don't know how many of you can remember back in this building. It brings a lot of fond memories back to me. How many ever saw a picture show here in the Texan Theater? How many sat up in the balcony with your friends from junior high? How many got a first kiss here? Well, I'd like to thank Byron and the Chamber of Commerce and all the volunteers who put this together today, and especially thank them for Hunt County Days. We had a great turnout in Austin. Any of you that have not participated in that before, it needs to be on your bucket list. It's a very informative day and a half with the legislatures. We started out today on Tuesday with breakfast with Representative Flynn and Senator Hall, where they kind of shared ideas of what's going on in the legislature this year. From there, we moved to the House of Representatives balcony and the Senate balcony, and where we were welcomed and honored, and our representatives declared Hunt County Days at the Capitol the day we attended. We had a special time in the House of Representatives where a few of us were on the floor along with Julie Horn and and Dan Flynn read the bill to name 1570 John L. Horn Parkway, and it was very special. And from there, we had lunch, and then we came back and was at the Supreme Court room in the Capitol, where we heard from many of the agencies and found out what they did for us and what they could do for us here in Hunt County and Greenville. And then after that, we took a short walk over to TAB, Texas Association of Business, to have a happy hour on top of their roof. And what a beautiful facility, and the patio was fantastic and had a great view of the Capitol and the landscape of Austin. But I think we got it a little misnomer there. I think it was the Baptist happy hour. Is that what it turned? Anybody know the difference between a Methodist and a Baptist? The Methodists will speak to each other at the liquor store. Anyway, I'm glad to be here and talk a little bit about the state of Hunt County. I think I got the call within the first few days of being in office. Amanda Blankenship. Amanda, wave. Amanda's our executive assistant in the office of the Hunt County Judge, and has been for a number of years. Without her, I don't know what the county would have done after John passed away until got somebody else in the office. She was having to run the whole courthouse, I believe, and she does a fabulous job, and thank you, Amanda. And anyway, she came in and said, hey, the chamber wants you to talk about the state of Hunt County. I said, well, I hadn't even been here 2 or 3 days. What am I supposed to say? So I said, I'd be happy to do it. So I'm here today to tell you what I think are some of the challenges and some of the good things going on in Hunt County. The first challenge is a short-term challenge, and that's the legislature and what they're going to do to us. Hopefully it's good. Maybe it'll be bad. I don't know. There's a lot of talk that they're going to do school reform. Big problem with the property tax is really our state failing to fund our schools. Our property taxes have shot up because the state used to pay 75% of our funding for the school. Is that right, James? You're nodding your head. And dropped it to 50%. Now I think it's down around 35%. And they pushed all that money down on us as the local taxpayers. Well, they're doing the same thing at the city and county level too. So what they do to us is really of concern, and hopefully it'll turn out really good for us. Other challenges we have are our facilities in our courthouse. The courthouse is, of course, a historically designated building. The county got a grant from the Historical Commission a few years ago for, I think, $5 million. Spent $1.5 million of it on plans to fix the outside, some of the structural issues we're having in the windows and other things that are deteriorating, and going to redo the 5th and 6th floors of the courthouse, which been here a long time. You know, that's the old county jail, which has not been touched since they ceased to use it as the jail. So they were going to restore it and let us take it in to use it as offices and space within the courthouse. Well, they got the plans all done and bid it out, and I think it came in at like $20 million, and county looked for some more grant money and couldn't find it, as I'm being told, and they've had to put that on the shelf till we can find funding and find the ability to get that all funded. Some of it, particularly the exterior, we're going to have to find the money at some point in time to get that fixed, because we got some issues with it. And of course, then we got the jail, and the jail's been a problem ever since it was built. Continue to have problems structurally with it. The episode last week with the gas line had nothing to do with the structure. It was just older gas line's been there a while and had developed some small leaks, but it was nothing to do with the structure. But we're constantly spending money on the jail. It's nearly a full-time maintenance job. At some point, we're going to have to address that. And then we got our county roads, and our county roads are a huge problem. Of course, it's hard to talk bad about them right now when we've had, 30 inches of rain in 6 months. I mean, I don't know if anything can stand up to that, but they're really in bad shape now. But particularly on the west side of the county, there's so much new traffic there, and particularly bigger trucks, cement trucks going in and out, and it's just it's doing a number on our roads with all that additional weight and the additional traffic. And I put this, they're putting this up, and I had it as a handout for everybody because I wanted you to take it, maybe share it with your neighbors and study it a little bit. You know, it's a fictitious account, but it was for 2018 tax year for Hunt County. And this is just Hunt County taxes. And if you look at if you kind of go through it in the green area, the total assessed value of this property was $246,000. And underneath it, it shows you the county tax rate and then what you paid in fiscal year 19, which has been due right now. Taxes are paid in arrears. It's assessed January 1st of 18. You pay it by by January 31st of 19. You're assessed to pay it in November of 18. So in this case, it was $1,261.06. If you go down and break it down, 78% of that is the general fund money. And of that, 74% of that is in our judicial, law enforcement, and jail and corrections. Nearly all that 78% is mandatory. I mean, we have to fund those things. There's nothing we can do about it. We have to provide that funding for those. And all that leaves then under the road and bridge fund is 18%. Of course, we're lucky enough to have our debt service pretty low, so it's a small amount. But if you go down into the bottom, it kind of breaks down, and y'all can read that. I don't need to read it for you. But the problem with the roads are our budget this year is $7.5 million for 4 precincts total. We got 1,300 miles of road. That's about $1 a foot to maintain them. You cannot maintain roads at $1 a foot. And at some point, we're going to have to address a way to do a better job of improving our roads and being able to maintain them. And, according to, to this, $226 is all it's going to maintain the roads. And I don't know how wide that fictitious lot would be, but it wouldn't maintain that road in front of that house. So that's a big challenge. I messed up over here. So let's talk about some good things. Judge Horn and the past Commissioners Court have done a really fantastic job with our financials. We're almost out of out of debt. Matter of fact, this week we wrote the check for the last payment on our jail. The jail's paid for. So that's behind us. I think totally we've got $9 million of debt left, and about $1 million of that is with the state comptroller where they overpaid us for sales tax. I think the city's dealing with the same thing. We're paying that back over a long period of time with no interest, so that's a pretty easy payback. So real debt is really only about $8 million. So our fund balances, or our savings account, is built up way above what we are required to have. And the theory John always had, and I think the court, was to try to get up some savings and let's pay as we go. Let's don't go borrow money for everything we do. Let's try to fix some of these things out of our own funds. So I hope that we're able to continue that. Another great thing that we got going on is our transportation. John's vision and Dee and the steering committee and the transportation committee have done a tremendous amount of work. And unlike our county roads, our state highways and the highway plan, transportation plan that has been approved through the work of that steering committee is really going to make a big impact for our overall infrastructure of our major arteries. We just got to figure out how to fix our roads. And Dee, thank you for all you've done. It's I don't know. I don't even want to think about how many hours you put into that, but I know it's been a tremendous amount. And and lastly, we've got a good group of elected officials and employees at the courthouse that want to do a good job and want to serve this county, and we should be proud of all of them. They're doing their best with limited funds as all entities have. And I would like to close by saying that it's an honor to serve as your Hunt County judge, and it's something that I never thought about, wanted to do, dreamed about doing. Then John passed away, and as many of you know, John was a very dear friend of mine. And when people started asking me to do it, I said, I'm not going to do that. I'm trying to retire. I want to slow down. I don't want a job. And the more I talked, more I thought about it, I did realize that I didn't need the job, but I needed to do the job. So my goal is that every day I want to do honor to John and to the citizens of Hunt County, and I'm going to do the best I can for the number of days I'm here. And I appreciate your time and consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge Stovall. When I read our elite partners, I did leave off Family First Home Health, and Family First Home Health is out there in our community and do all kinds of great things. So thank y'all so much for being here as well. Also, did you mention this, Judge Stovall? The Yes for Roads brochure. On your table, on your place setting, you have a Yes for Roads brochure, and this is all the things that are going on in Hunt County through our transportation committee. And if you want to meet with D. Hilton afterwards, he can explain this brochure a little better to you if you need to. Let's see. Next, we're going to introduce Mayor Dave Dreiling. Our mayor of Greenville was elected in 2015. He is an active board member on our Greenville Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors and very active in events and boards and happenings across the city. We give you Mayor David Dreiling.
I would like to, it's an honor to be here and to be the representative of the City Council and be able to talk about things that are there. But first, I would like to compliment our new county judge. When you get into an office like that, and I experienced this about 4 years ago, you walk in and you say, hey, I've got a good idea of what's going on. And then they open the fire hose and you find out all these things that you didn't know. And Bobby, good job on getting as much as you could get at this short time frame. You did a great job. How about a round of applause for him? Next slide, please. Or we'll talk from that one. Greenville is we're doing a great job. The city is really improving. it's a great place to live. We're seeing improvements all the time. The city is operating with excellent teamwork. You see the people up here and the work that they're doing, and it's an ongoing effort continuously. You are the community leaders and the businesses that are keeping the town going, improving, and working. And we've had several new businesses come in this year. It's been good. Within the city leadership, last June, we were lucky enough to get a new city manager, Summer Spurlock, and a little bit later I'll have her come up and tell you a little more about it. But she's done an excellent job. And the city staff is working very, very hard to improve the looks and the functionality of each of their departments. The Board of Development, they work very hard in bringing in new businesses, new opportunities, and it's been a tremendous change over the last few years about the number of people that want to come to Greenville and see this as a very good site. Chamber has worked very, very hard. They're increasing the city businesses and the networking among those businesses to help everybody work together. I'm very proud to be part of the city council. The council members work very, very hard along with the city staff to make improvements here. One of the things that we're changing this year, the staff has looked at it, the council has looked at it, and we're going to set up, we hope it'll be successful, but we're going to do quarterly town hall meetings. And what we will do is we're going to not necessarily, we're going to spend money on this, we got to have your vote. It's an idea that we're going to try and take a department or two and say, this is what's going on within the city, so that the citizens can hear what's going on a regular basis. It's not a matter of, you got to hear about this because we need your vote. It's a matter of, we want the citizens to know what's going on in town. You can see the division here on where the money comes from. You can see that the property tax and the sales tax are very close as far as the total amount of money that we get from each one. Those are our biggest parts. Then you got the franchise and the other categories. Our total revenue is a little over $24 million. This is the expenditures, and you can see how they're broken out. Obviously, the biggest factor in there is our public safety, and this is your police and fire department. And without them, we don't have a good city. We've got to have good people working in there. Public Works, John Wright's out there trying to figure out how he can fix all of the roads and get everything fixed, and we give him just a little bit of money. And overall, we're working well on the expenditures. The property tax rate, now this is something that the council is very pleased in being able to do. In the budget that got in effect right now, is we've dropped it to the lowest it's been in over 21 years. You can see it up there. Well, you can't see it up there, it's the wrong slide. Did you change slides on me? Okay, that's the one I thought I had. Okay. Anyway, now that you can see this, we've dropped the tax rate to the lowest it's been in 21 years. And we're working hard for whatever programs or whatever endeavors that we can bring in that we do not have a problem that's going to require that we raise your taxes. You know, it's a simple strategy that when you look at a city government, it takes this pot of money to be able to do roads and fire and police and everything else. If you only have this number of people paying it, your tax rate's high. If we can get this many people paying the tax bill, then your taxes can come down and we can still do it. So that's what we're working on. Good, next slide. Okay, back in just as a little history here in the last 4 years, back in 2016, it was voted on by the citizens to approve some major road repairs. And they agreed, yes, we're going to accept a 0.67 cents increase in our taxes. The city council worked hard. We absorbed that within the existing rate, and we did not have to raise the taxes on there. In the 2017-18, we were able to cut the budget by another cent, and in the last budget, we dropped it by 3.5 cents. So in the last 4 years, we've cut your tax rate on your houses, on your property, by 11.2 cents. Now, if you can see up there that if you had a home that was worth $150,000, what that means, you're paying that much less taxes than what you were 4 years ago. So it's hard work. It's stuff that takes a lot of time when we sit down and go through the budget. That's not just a weekend effort. It takes the council and the staff anywhere from 5 to 6 months to go through each department and see what they need and how we can get there. This is a slide that was provided, and it shows about what you're spending if you have a $150,000 home. You can see that you're spending about $2.67 a day in your daily property tax. But when you compare that to what we're paying for cell phones, for your electric bill, or your auto loan, you see that your property tax is not the biggest bill that you're paying. This is what's happened in our sales tax. We've seen a growth, and as we get more retail in and more businesses in, it will continue to go up. Right now, we've seen a 1.4% increase in the last year, and we expect it to continue to increase. The debt service, the city is not quite as fortunate as the county. We do owe more money than $9 million, but we're working hard that we don't borrow more money so that your bills don't go up. And you can see here that in the 2022 time frame that we take a big drop in our debt service because some of those bills will be paid off. And so we're looking forward to that. We're trying to make it so that we do not increase your taxes and that debt service will in fact continue to go down. Part of that effort is in pay as you go program. And you can see the items up here where we put money into the budget each year so that we can buy it as needed instead of having to borrow money to furnish these things. And you can see up there as an example in a fire truck replacement. And I've mentioned this before. But when you see the fire truck running around, that's about somewhere between $750,000 and $1 million for a single fire truck. And we replace them about every 5 years. We have to get another one. So that means we put money into the pot so that when it comes time to buy it, we're not having to borrow money and increase our debt service. And so far, it's working out very, very well. You can see the other items up there that we use on the pay-as-you-go. GEUS, it was talked about briefly on here, but you can see that they're working hard. They're working very good at lowering their debt. They paid off the 2015 bond a year early, so they were able to save money there. They have received several awards that you can see in the lower part up there, and they've done an excellent job in that. One of the interesting things is the growth that we're seeing. And you can see over the last 5 years that GEUS has increased the number of meters that they put out by 9%. So you see that right now they've got 14,862 different meters, but part of that is residential, part of it is outside the city limits. So I queried and said, how many residential meters do we have inside the city limits? You see the number up there. Then I took just an average and I said, each household's got 3 people. Well, in some households, you know that there's just a husband and wife or just 2 people that live there. In some, there's 5 or 6. Depends on the number of children and how many people are living there. So I just pulled a number out and I said 3. If you look at that versus the number of meters, while you drive through the city limits, it says we got 26,600 people. This shows that we're sitting at about 33,000, almost 34,000. So you can take that multiplier and move it to wherever you think is the correct number and get just a general feel of what our population in town is and how much it's grown. I moved here in 1986 and the population was just slightly over 21,000. here we are over 30 years later, and our street signs say that we've got 26,000. That's not much of a growth. In the last few years, we're seeing almost more growth than we've seen ever. So I think it's good. I think it's showing that we're growing and continue to work on it. Now, in previous briefs, I've spent time and talked to you about this business open, that business open, and what I wanted to do today is I want Summer, who is working very, very hard to present and work and do all of these things, and we thought that it would be good to tell you the projects that are being done to meet the objectives that the City Council sets up. Each year we put several goals up of things that we want to get done. That's a several month process to come up with something that we can live with, and then it's up to Summer to get her staff to work forward and see if we can accomplish that. So at this point, I would like to introduce Summer, to have her come up and tell you the projects that are ongoing. I'm going to leave this here so you can see.
Well, thank you, Mayor. I appreciate the time to come up and share with you kind of what not only our staff but administration's been working on. Like the Mayor said, every year we start out the budget process, which it's actually March 1st, so we will start the budget process with council at the next couple meetings. Just really kind of getting their direction as far as goals that meet our mission and our values. This past year, in the past budget year, they gave us a set of 6 goals. So we really, when we sat down with staff, we really concentrated on how do we fit what we see as our needs in the department and the feedback from the council and from the citizens to be able to meet those goals. So I really kind of focused this presentation on each one of those goals. Kind of, I know a couple of people see things going on in the city and why are we doing this, and so I'm hoping to kind of help explain that. So this first number 1 goal that that the city came up with is evaluate a plan for water projects. So out at our water treatment plant, which was refurbished back in 1994, there really has been some maintenance going on, but nothing really major out there. We have a certain amount of capacity that we can handle for the certain amount of citizens, and the mayor was talking about with the population growth that we're foreseeing coming up, in the new 2020 census, and that we've been seeing here in the last couple of years. We really wanted to concentrate on the infrastructure of, our water and our wastewater treatment plant and those kind of things, because I'm pretty sure we'd get several different calls if you guys turned on your tap and nothing came out. So we really want to set that up to have that infrastructure in place. So there's a couple things listed here. A clear well just kind of holds our water for capacity. We have a transmission line out at Centerpoint Lane. Centerpoint pump station that we just will start in the month of May. Our filter rehabilitation, which filters in the water that comes in from Lake Tawakoni and filters it so that you guys are able to drink it and use it. And then we have a L3 water line extension and a Washington Street water line replacement. You'll see a lot of water line replacements on there, and I don't know if y'all remember this past summer. We had a lot of rain one month, and we'd have no rain the next month, and we'd have a lot of rain. And for those of you who lived here a while, that really doesn't bode well for our old pipes. So especially on the older parts of town, some of our pipes are fairly old, getting into the 40 and 50 years, which usually you have about a 30-year life with most of those. And when your soil contracts and expands like that does, then it really causes a lot of water line breaks. So if you'll see here on this next slide, I just kind of showed a couple of pictures so you guys could kind of have an idea of where Centerpoint Lane, obviously, is on the south side of town. The Centerpoint water line, if you'll see that top picture, I don't know if y'all can see it very well, but this top picture up here, so the Centerpoint water line will go from here and here. Centerpoint pump station will be right here. This is the newly Centerpoint Lane that was just finished and opened about a month ago. Another important down here at this Washington Street water line, between Texas and O'Neill, I think we had at least 8 water breaks this past summer, so it was really important to fix that and totally replace it instead of constantly patching it. This is our brand new clear well that the council voted on in the last budget year, but was just completed. This will allow us more capacity to be able to treat more water. And like I said, the center point pump station is over there. And then it was really important for us out here for this L3 water loop extension. Before we put this in, which I'm pretty sure this is almost complete, it's getting to the completed stages. Before we put this in, we only had one water line that was going out to L3, which housed 6,500 people. So if that ever went down, then we were in big trouble, and we definitely get a lot of phone calls. So we really wanted to address that. If you'll see, that's the Oaks Country Club right there. So that's where that water line is feeding into there. So that's really just going to help us and set us up so that we don't have any of that going on. Goal number 2 was to evaluate a plan for, it says water projects, but it should be wastewater projects. If you'll see, this is our 2.1 million gallon lift station. This is the project that you guys are probably is going to be the most visible. Out on Monty Stratton, there's a lift station, and then all along 1570 going towards our wastewater treatment plant. That was all the transmission line going that direction. It's getting parts where the electricity part and the concrete and all that's getting laid at this point, so it's almost pretty complete. But if you'll look at this picture right here, this is 2.1 million gallons. Those are 2 people down there. So you can see how large that really is. So all that heavy equipment that you guys saw, it's really going to help set up this part of town. This is I-30. This is the going towards Dallas on the west side. So this lift station is going to service all that side of town. So it's really going to help with the growth that's coming from the Dallas-Fort Worth area and help set up that portion of town. So it's really going to help set that up. So that's our biggest project that we have on the wastewater side. We go on to goal number 3. The council really wanted us to review not only our infrastructure but also our water supply. Currently, we have a contract with Sabine River Authority to get 23 million gallons per day from Lake Tawakoni. But when we get it from Lake Tawakoni, we have a 20-mile transmission line all the way from Lake Tawakoni. And for you guys that don't know, it's about, Bobby was talking about how to replace streets. Well, it's about $1 million a mile, depending on the size of your transmission line to get that water here. So if you kind of add that up, it gets expensive, and you add engineering and all that. So when you're talking about raw water lines and things like that, it gets really expensive really quickly. So I talked about we're reviewing options to upgrade our raw water line. We're reviewing our wholesale water contracts because that 23 million gallons per day, our water treatment plants only has the capacity to treat about 11 million gallons per day. So we really try to, the water that we're not using, we sell the treated water to our wholesale customers in our surrounding counties and our smaller towns. And then we're also meeting with regional water suppliers. I know I saw Lincoln here. He's been really instrumental in helping us, so I thank him for helping us and really setting up our city with the regional water suppliers in our area and helping us to really be a center point of water supply in this area for the smaller communities, because not only are we growing, but those smaller communities around us are growing. So if we can prepare and just be ready for that, that's what we're really shooting for. And then goal number 4 that the council gave to us was a comprehensive plan for the city of Greenville. I think our last comprehensive plan was in 2005, I believe. So we're really working on updating that. They also allocated on our budget a city planner that will be a city employee. So that person is really going to be tasked with the job of that comprehensive plan. That planner has been hired, and she will actually start this month. So we're really excited about where she came from and her experience with comprehensive plans and those kind of things. So we're excited about that. We're also working on the request for proposals for that comprehensive plan. So that's in motion as well. So just wanted to give you guys an update on that. A few of these, goal number 5 was to clean up the city. They didn't give us an area, they just said clean up the city, which is a pretty broad area. So we put a couple initiatives in place. The Board of Development, which I saw a few of them here, they were very generous. They came to us and said, we've got this money that can be used in the downtown area. What kind of ideas do you have that we could help and allocate this money? So I sat down with Kevin Banks and Doyle Dick, our Main Street manager, said, what can we do with this money? So we came up with a few ideas. The first one was the farmers market building. It hadn't been renovated or painted, cleaned really, really good, the trim done. So we really concentrated on that. So it gave it a little bit of a facelift. So once you come back in the spring, when it opens up back up, you'll be able to see that. The GMA lights, I don't know if you guys have noticed at nighttime, it looks a little brighter. We put lights on there that are programmable. You can interchange the colors. You can do all kinds of different things. This actual picture was they got them installed, luckily, right before the Bob Wills Fiddle Festival. So it looked really great. So that's why it looks orange. So it looks really great there. And then the courthouse street lights upgrade. There's 4 lights that were pretty outdated. Some of them were leaning. So Doyle said this would be a really great project. And thank you to GEUS. GEUS is over there. Thank you guys very much for partnering with us with that. They did the installation. They ordered the lights for us and cut down our cost and what we would normally do. And then they also thankfully did a piece on it on Channel 34, which was really great to bring awareness to that. So thank you, Chris. We appreciate that for partnering with us on that. And then over down here to the left, you'll see the downtown benches and banners. We really try to rotate those banners about every 3 months. So the council's allowed us and allocated in our budget to be able to buy those. So you'll see some, you see the ones during the holiday time. We've got those. You'll see some new ones coming up in the springtime. So we really have a set of those that we can rotate those about every 3 months now. So we really try to do that. And then the green benches that they allowed us to purchase every year really kind of helps downtown look a little bit better, and with some new sidewalks, hopefully that'll look as well as good. So some other pieces, just some cleaning up around the city, around JLU and Sports Park. It was really important. We didn't, I know everybody's out there in the June, July, August time frame, and there's not a lot of shade out there. So it's really important that we put shade structures in the middle, in the middle of July, in the middle of Texas. So I understand that. So we've got those in now. JLU is complete. They've allowed us to do 2 fields, at which we have a total of 6. So we've got 2 fields done out at the sports park. Next year we'll do 2 more fields. But it just really makes it look nice and upgrades it. And I know when Kevin had the tourism people here, they said that sports park was one of the great things that we have. So we're really trying to concentrate and put just a little bit at a time into that. And then we also, council allowed us to upgrade some of our playgrounds that hadn't been upgraded in a while. When you talk about Wright and Middleton Park playgrounds, those were pretty old. They still had some metal slides, so we thought it was time to upgrade those. So those both will be upgraded with something similar to that picture up there. And then Aunt Char's playground out at the sports park will be replaced. And actually, tomorrow, they're calling it the last slide. So they'll start, they'll do a little, a send-off, is what you call it, before the demo of that starts. So if y'all could come out to the sports park tomorrow, that would be great. And then also out at the sports park, you'll see some new trees going up. We had about 40 of them go up in the springtime. And then I think that he's going to get about 60 more of them. So 100 total trees are going to be going out at the sports park. And if anybody's ever been out there, over by the soccer fields, there's not much shade. So it was really important. We got a tree farm actually just called us and said, hey, I had a developer order 100 trees. They backed out of the development. I can give them to you at this price, and we jumped right on it, and we found it within our budget. So it was just a really good deal for us, and it actually really helped us out. So it'll really spruce that up. Goal number 6, they really concentrated last budget year on the staffing for the city. So what we decided to do, we're conducting an in-house pay survey where we can we're analyzing all the job descriptions, all the pay, everything that we can possibly do with a personnel, benefits, things like that, insurance, everything. We're reviewing all of that. And then we're going to come to council this year when we come to them and say, this is where we're at, and this is where we'd like to be. We've got comparative cities, we've got competitive cities that we kind of, same size, and then cities that we lose people to. So we're really going to try to concentrate on giving them a picture of this is where we're at, because personnel is one of the most important. We're in the service business, so it's the most important asset that we have. So we really want to take that and make that where it should be. So we're really working on that. Just some other projects that we had going on this budget year. The sound system in the GMA was upgraded. The Centerpoint Lane was complete, which I mentioned earlier, which was funded by our street improvement program, which is $2 million within our budget. So no bonds or anything sold for that. Out at the airport, we have an erosion project going on that we were granted a TxDOT aviation grant of $1.1 million. So we're really working on that. We just had the consultant selection just this week. Airport proposed apron expansion. Those two projects kind of work together. And then we also are working on a radio infrastructure upgrade. And then just a couple of months ago, or actually last month, this was a combination tax and revenue certificates of obligation that the City Council authorized us to sell to help with all those projects that I was talking about earlier. This is just a breakdown. It was a total of $20 million with several different projects. Centerpoint Pump Station, all the transmission lines, the filter rehab that I showed you about picture on. So when you get in those, like I talked about, those water utility projects, they get pretty large. So sometimes those are a little bit more difficult to pay as you go. You know, the other things were out of the general fund, we're paying as you go. But as far as in the water side, it was really important that we sold these bonds to help us out to be able to fix this infrastructure. And then, as Mayor talked about for the town hall meeting, which our next town hall meeting will be March 14th out at the Civic Center at 6:30, we're going to be discussing these general obligation bonds of 2019, which will go to the voters on May 4th. What this will allow us to do is to fix Stonewall and Sale Street. Stonewall from Joe Ramsey to Poplar, and then Sale Street from Joe Ramsey to Cary Lane. And if you'll look, $15 million is the total estimated cost that we're estimating right now. So you guys will, when we have that March 14th town hall, we're going to give a presentation on each one of those streets. Citizens will be able to ask questions, give input, all kinds of information. We just want to get you guys get citizens information and get information so that we're doing what is proper with your tax dollars. So that's coming up May 4th. And then also I just wanted to mention we do a Now report, okay, which is it's news of the week. It's posted every week on our website. It kind of gives an update of everything in every single department that we've got going on, from fire, police, public works, GMA, Main Street. It just kind of gives an overview. We also post a link to it on our website every week, so just so you guys are informed, if you ever wonder what's going on, you can always call our office, no problem, but the Now report is always listed on our website and on Facebook, so it's right there for you guys to have that information. So other than that, I think Mayor's going to come on up, and if there's any time for questions, we'll take questions.
We just wanted to show you that the tax dollars are being paid and what you're doing. We wanted to show you your city is not just sitting there and doing nothing, that there's a lot of projects going on, and unless you see the projects in function and you see the road construction and you see everything else, it's hard for you to visualize. And over and above what she's shown, part of the regular budget is that we've got $2 million to go out and fix roads that we have in the city. That some of them are completely redone, some of them are resurfaced, but there's $2 million and there's about 14 or 15 roads that will get worked on this year. So it's things like this that people don't realize the amount of work that the city staff is doing and trying to keep everything going and to improve the city. So that's why we wanted to do that today, is to show you what's going on and show you how we're working. And at this time, we'll open it up. Does anybody have any questions for us? There's a microphone to be passed around if you have a question. I think they're all stunned. Thank you very much.
Thanks again for your presentations today. Just a few more things we have here. If you want to be part of our partnership structure for future quarterly membership luncheons or elite partnerships, please see Keith Burns in the lobby at the chamber table for level information. I also want to remind you that business before hours, for those of you that don't know, we have something other than business after hours. We have business before hours. It's the first Tuesday of every month. The next Tuesday will be what? Fat Tuesday. It will be at Capital Title, Money Title Group this coming Tuesday on Lee Street here in downtown Greenville. Thank you, Brent, for partnering with us on that. Actually, I wanted to say that our business before hours are mostly filled, but we do have a May, June, and August open if anybody's interested in accommodating that. Our next business after hours this month is on the third Thursday. It's March 21st, and it's going to be at an American National Bank. I did also want to announce, while I have your attention here, that Turtle Creek Veterinary Medical Center, who's built the beautiful new building over on Jack Finney, we were going to have a ribbon cutting there on Monday. We've gotten word that her mother is critically ill, and they're going to have to reschedule that. So we'll get information out on that. I also have asked Jennifer Johnson with the Paris Small Business Development Center to come and speak for just a minute or two on the things that we're doing at the Chamber with the Small Business Development Center.
Thank you. After hearing the presentations before, your leaders in this community are doing a great job. You should be really proud. Our Paris Small Business Development Center serves a 5-county area. I was previously with the Trinity Valley Small Business Development Center, and let me tell you, as I go to many of these meetings in other communities, I'm really impressed by what your leadership has presented and their vision for your county, for the vision of your city. So on this week following our Hunt County Days and the thoughts expressed by these local leaders, I really want to thank Byron for allowing me to share some more information about what the SBDC is. Some of you may have never worked with the SBDC. You may not be familiar with what our services are. But America's SBDC is a national program. And if you think about it, a new business is started every 35 minutes. A new job is created every 6 minutes. Now you want that in Hunt County. You want to be able to grow the economy and grow the community by creating businesses and creating jobs here. So when you think about what the SBDC services are, it can be quite varied. It's not just a cookie cutter approach of one size fits all. Our services can be in helping a business get financing. It can be helping get a business plan together. It can help with getting market research. It really is a one-on-one consulting that is confidential and it's personalized to that business at where you are in your growth stage, whether you're a startup or an existing business. One of the questions I get asked quite often is, we're a no-fee service. How do we do that? How do we do that? Well, we are a partnership with Paris Junior College, the U.S. Small Business Administration, and the state of Texas. So they fund these programs to have an economic impact and to have capital infusion. You're familiar with Paris Junior College, as it's so active in this community and preparing the workforce for the jobs created here. Our main office, of course, for our Paris Small Business Development Center is at the Paris Junior College in Paris, but among our other campuses, we have a local presence here, and we have a business advisor who offices here on Thursday to be more available to help the business community in Greenville. That's something really important to us because we want to partner with the Chamber, with the EDC, and other local stakeholders to grow jobs, to help businesses grow, whether they need financing or they need additional help with market research or business plan. Byron has been gracious enough to allow us to office at the Greenville Chamber. We have a business advisor there, like I said, on Thursdays each week. We'd be happy to meet you at your place of business, or we also have the Greenville Paris Junior College available. So with America's SBDC program and our North Texas network, we can also align you with other resources and services from our Dallas office. We have a government contracting, we have veteran service, so we have so much research material that can be made available to help the small businesses. So one of the things I'm often wondered, with so many business intelligence tools available, how do I let the businesses know that it's out there? And why wouldn't you want to tap into that? Because once again, it's no fee. So we can get you extensive market research on your business, competitive analysis, financial ratios that become a management tool for you to, for the goals of your business, the accountability, and the direction that you're going. So we want to partner the stakeholders in the community and help to grow the small businesses in this area. Another thing I'd just like to say is that we have National SBDC Day on March the 20th. So follow us online, follow us on the Twitter chats, and then you can learn more about how the SBDC is making a local impact. Thank you.
All right, we do have some time for business announcements from the floor. Does anybody have anything they want to talk about for just a moment? Any kind of cool things going on? Business announcements? I have one. If you didn't see on Facebook already, Bob Lannon, current chairman of the board of the Greenville Chamber of Commerce, won the prestigious Louis F. Qualia Award this week in Austin at the Texas Wine and Grape Growers Conference. I cannot remember the name of the winery, but Louis Qualia started it in like 1886, and this award is very prestigious, and Bob won it, and it's exciting for Greenville, Texas. Anything else? Thank y'all so much for coming today.
This video has been brought to you by GEUS 34. GEUS is your community-owned provider for electric, internet, cable TV, and true local programming.